Yeah, man. It sucks that I can't, do what I want to do, what I'm talented to do, and that's boxing. I want to knock out Mayweather, and I already beat Mayweather Senior. I want to knock out Mayweather Junior. I want to beat Tyson Fury. I want to beat all these guys, but the ring is closed everywhere. You know what I mean? Like they have not uplifted the rings, and until it happens, there's no fights.
Charlie, there's actually a lot you can be doing during this lockdown. Get online and start searching for a manager and a trainer. Go to the California Athletics State Commission and do what boxers do in order to become a real champion. Real, Charlie. The kind that get respect. That's what you want, right? Well, I will make it easy on you, and your natural incredible gift of boxing and your athleticism will rapidly propel you to your goal. This is your chance, Charlie. This is your year. It is really easy to get started, and I did some of it for you, so no excuses. I will post these links in the description. Get Daddy to help you. Go to the application instructions page at this link and read through. Then download the application at this Then download the application at this link and fill it out. You can work in getting licensed. Everyone is on lockdown, but you're on lockdown 365. So just do 200 videos this week instead of 300, and you will have time to fill out the form. Now that you are aware of what you can do, stop bitching and whining that you can't get people to acknowledge you. You are just a boy sitting in your apartment asking famous people to respond to you because somehow that will make you feel validated. Charlie, get licensed and you can easily fight anyone you want. Just join their organization. You are so extremely ahead of anyone who has ever boxed before that you can climb the ranks and fight the champ by Christmas, even Fury. You're that good, right? If McGregor can call his fights, so can you, right? You just need to get licensed and a team to promote you. Think about it, Charlie. This will shut up all your critics, and you will make millions of dollars, and hot women will want you. Maybe it will give you the cred to finally get Kim's attention. You could have done this in the first place, right? And avoided this lonely, lonely train wreck life you live. If you don't want to do it the proper way, then we will assume you don't really want to fight anyone scary and you are just a dreamer, a boy trying to live out a fantasy, but wants the real world validation of that fantasy. All the haters will stop following you, and even fake fans won't see a purpose in pulling your ever-exposed puppet strings and blowing smoke up your Canuter valve. Before you say it, we already know.
I think mainstream boxing is a fraud.
Mainstream boxing isn't a fraud, Charlie. That is just something that you say whenever you feel defeated on a given subject. You reach to the extremes and try to denounce the things that the world and the human population depend on. Charlie, you are not established as a man financially, career-wise. You are not highly educated, not very ambitious in self-improvements, and you are dependent on others for money and care. You're not allowed to drive. You are not mentally or emotionally stable, etc., etc. So I'm sorry, but you are clearly not someone the world can rely on to tell us how anything is. Also, no one believes you think mainstream is a fraud, because we don't believe what you say, only what we see. And Charlie, what we see is everyone you yak about wanting to fight is a mainstream fighter, right? So shut up and stop pretending you hate mainstream when the truth is they have what you want, and you are jealous of what they have. Fame, fortune, respect, women, etc. This is your chance, Charlie, to actually back up everything you say. In the eyes of the world, your record is 0-1. If you want that to improve, then be a big boy and start competing with your amazing pandemic skills. Because here's the truth about your 331-0 record, Charlie. You see, Charlie, your record doesn't count. It is nothing. 7.8 billion people already know this. But because you are slow, I will provide proof for you that beating up Daddy, punching Alex because he threw keys at you, fighting a hockey guy at the store are not examples of pro fights. Charlie, I know this is a big surprise, but BoxRec has ruled that hiding behind little girls in restaurants is not pro fighting criteria. I'm sure Ali, Tyson, Sugar Ray, and all the best fighters tried this before they got licensed, but it turns out the only way to get respect is to become a big boy pro and earn your way to the top. Super easy for a wrecking machine like you. There are 100 things you claim to have or to be or can do, and I can say prove it, and you wouldn't be able to. And calling yourself a pro fighter is a big one. I can prove you are not, and you will only avoid the subject because you know you can't prove you are a pro. The rules, guidelines, and laws of society are already in place, and you fulfill none of the qualifications of a pro fighter. But you're in luck, because I am taking the time to show you how. Are you man enough? Are you worried about your cardio? Are you worried about not being able to leave the ring? Then get rid of your webcam and just start training. Run, jog, jump rope, etc., etc. We also know that you will say mainstream fighting is fixed, but you can always just destroy your opponent like you are always bragging about, and they will have to give you the win. You're so good that you can just demolish opponents and get the win. Unfortunately, you will never be undefeated because of how you quit against Hartley, but that fight was fixed for you to win, and Hartley still won. So whoever works the hardest will get the win. And as you say, you can kill anyone with a single punch. Better than a prime Tyson. So why have you been wasting your time in fitness gyms hitting nobodies who just want time on the treadmill? No record, unknowns who can't help better your stats. Can you imagine, Charlie, having your arm raised for a real boxing win? So, Charlie, what do you think? You will do it, right? You will do this easy thing and finally get the respect, revenge, get rich, get a real belt, and be a real champ. Right, Charlie? Or will you continue to talk shit in your apartment and do what you did the past 24 hours and post 79 Instagram videos that people laugh at, plus 7 more of the same unimpressive videos in a row on YouTube, plus a few live streams in there? And when that doesn't magically turn your life around, you try to redirect your insanity to a renewed love with a fictitious girlfriend who is a hooker that you bang a couple of times a year. And she must not be very attractive, because you are trying to pass off a picture of porn star Victoria June as your fiancée. Charlie, if you don't want to fight properly as a pro, and you want to continue to live out this silly fantasy, that is your right. But when you post it all over the internet, it is also our right to comment on it and talk about it as we see fit. You already know how that goes, and you have led your life in a way that you are now boxed in, handcuffing yourself to where the only place you can fight is in a ring, and you were never able to do that with any competence. If you don't want to be laughed at like a circus freak the rest of your life, then start at the very bottom where every other pro fighter had to start. If you choose to start a boxing career, I suggest you learn the basics, like no timeouts, leaving the ring as a DQ, and rounds last 3 minutes. So I suggest getting your cardio up past 1 minute, and training will last hours, not minutes. I am eager to follow either your new progress or your ongoing delusions.